Now it's thinking. Okay, still got nothing there. There it goes. Good. It took a minute. I had to hit the go live button, and then you got to hit the go live button again. Good grief. Wouldn't think it would be that complicated. Somebody recently told me they need some more brain cells. Looks like I do too. Frank and Tina, hey guys, how are y'all? Great to see you. I hope y'all are getting some good weather out there. It has started cooling off here. Hallelujah. We're done with summer. Good grief, summer was oppressive this year. It just seemed hotter. It probably wasn't any hotter, but oh well. Bam Ranch, hey bud, good to see you. How are you? Hi Carol. Hey Tibor. Good to see you. I didn't know, we'll tell everybody here in a second, maybe I'll just remind them. I didn't know I was supposed to go live and wouldn't have known if Rachel hadn't told me. So you can blame her for this. How about that? By the way, cheers to everyone. I love seeing Frank and Tina here. Frank, if any of y'all don't know who he is, Frank's an electrician too. Working around the clock, making all that money. Frank, you're going to go into the banking business next thing you know. Of course, I don't know if I'm talking to Frank or Tina, though. So it's hard to tell. Hey, Keith, how are you, bud? For anybody that wasn't aware of it, Wes was doing a live stream from his new property down there. He went to do a camp out, and I was tempted, good grief, I was tempted to go down and camp out with him tonight and then come back tomorrow. But I decided to stay home and be responsible and all that, and then still didn't get a whole lot done. I would go down tomorrow, but on Friday I have to take care of Sarah. I don't have to tell you. That makes it sound like it's oppressive to me. I will be taking care of Sarah all day. I'll have to take her to some school that she does over in Lubbock, and then I get to hang out for a while until it's time for her to go to ballet. And so I'll be in Lubbock all stinking day. Boo. I could do without that. And then I get to take them to a football game on the other side of Lubbock and drop them off, and some friends are going to bring them home. So Friday's going to be a long day. So I don't get to go camping with Wes. That's okay. Maybe I'll get some work done tomorrow. This is Frank. Hey, Frank. I was going to say I'm glad it's you. That sounds bad, too, because I'd love it if it was Tina. But Frank and I can relate. We both do electrical work and feel like we ought to make more money than we do, except I think Frank, makes a couple of million a year, so he's probably in pretty good shape. Yeah, he's going to get a bank opened up pretty soon, and he'll be making low-interest loans, I hope. Lubbock ain't the worst city. No, that's true, Ruthless. Lubbock ain't the worst city. But it's a city, and I don't like any cities. I don't like being in cities. I like being out in the country. My computer's going to be a little jiggly. For those of you that don't know, I'm having laptop troubles, and I have to fold. A laptop opens up like that normally, and that's how you use it. You ever get that straightened up there so it looks right. That's how you use it. However, my laptop, when I open it up like that, the camera nor the microphone, either one work. There's something in the connections that's there on the hinge that isn't working right. So I have to close it down until it's kind of about halfway clamshelled. And so I've got the front end of it up here propped up with a can of bean dip. And I just about can't type on it that way. I can, but it'll be delicate. Anyway, so when I move the table, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So hopefully nobody gets sick. Buddy Holly Bill, yes it is. Yep, Buddy Holly is from Lubbock, for those of you that don't know. There's an area of town that's it's the Depot District is what they call it, but it's, Buddy Holly Avenue, and there's his museum, statue, and stuff like that. Also, if for anybody that doesn't know, Mac Davis is from Lubbock as well. There's a whole lot of country singers and that kind of thing from around this area, quite a few of them. Waylon Jennings is from the town next here where I live, kind of where my family is, was. My dad still lives in Littlefield, and I never did know Waylon, but I am fairly good friends with his brother. Bait the Hook, hey bud. Good to see you. Which one am I? Yeah, okay. I've got. When I do this, in order to have the pop-out chat from the YouTube part, I have to have the YouTube. I have to have it opened up on YouTube, and so there's another. I've got another window open where it's YouTube, and it just occurred to me I should make sure which window I was on so I'd know what was going on. Keith, hey Rob, when was that building built at West? You know, Keith, I don't know for sure. I actually lived there in that town when I was a little kid. I lived in that town probably, I'm going to say from about 1961, is before I can remember, until about 1969. I was halfway through the 5th grade in 1969, and we moved to Hobbs, New Mexico. And I don't remember this building myself. I'm going to ask my dad because there's a pretty good chance he does. It's just a little ways south of Main Street on the other side of the tracks. I'll tell you what I do remember about that part of the world, though, is when I was a little guy. I wasn't very old. I don't know if I was in school yet. I might have been. Let's say that I was in kindergarten, maybe. I remember we were downtown for a parade or something they were having, 4th of July, Founders Day, I couldn't tell you what. And we were over close to the railroad tracks, and a train came through going real slow. And Dad picked me up and got over close and waited for the caboose to come by. And when the caboose came by, Dad ran and caught the caboose, and caught up to the caboose and pitched me up on the back porch of the caboose. And then he caught back up, grabbed hold, and swung up and jumped on too. And we rode on that caboose, I'm going to guess, for a block or two before the people came out of the caboose and told us to get the hell off. They weren't very happy or nice about it, either one. They did not see the amusement or the nostalgia in it like I do. But it's a cool memory that I have. I hopped a train with my dad when I was a little kid, so that was a neat thing. And where we hopped the train, to the best of my memory, is probably only a couple of 100 yards from where that old gin was that Wes is at right now. So anyway, just kind of a fun thing. I like having that memory. That's a neat memory. I got to remind Dad about that. I bet he hadn't thought about that in a long time. So that'll be good. My dad, for those of you that don't know, is 88 years old right now, still living at home by himself. And except for the damage that 65 years worth of smoking did to him, you know, from the time he was probably 12 or 13 until not long ago, he has COPD, as you would expect, and so has a little trouble breathing. You know, he has a lot of trouble breathing. Breathing is an issue for him, so I worry about him. But still, I get to take him. You know, I take him to the doctor. He has gotten to the point where he doesn't trust himself driving now. In town, he's okay. Even on the highway, he's okay. But get in a busy place like Lubbock, and that's no good for Dad to drive there. So he doesn't. I do the driving for him. And I'm plenty okay with that. I'm at a point where, you know, if I need to take off and tell my customers, sorry, Dad comes first, that's where I am in life. You know, all of y'all know what's happened to me, and that will, it didn't happen to me. I don't know. Anyway, that'll change your perspective. You know, you lose some people you love, and you realize, of course, I always knew how important that was, but it makes you where you just don't care. You know, whatever else is going on, family and friends are a whole lot more important than anything else like that. So there we go. Yep, old stories, Keith, for sure. I'll check on something for you. Okay, that works. That Maccabeus, hey, bud, how are you, man? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Yeah, Wes. So anyway, I was hoping to be down there with Wes, camped out, having a steak with him. The steak cooked on old bed springs. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's worth some bonus points all by itself right there. Shoot, Tibor. Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, I'm lucky to have my dad around. We lost my mom back in 2013 to lung cancer. She didn't smoke as much or as long as Dad did. She quit long before him, so that's how it worked. C103, how are you, bud? Anyway, yeah, Wes is down there. I didn't get to see the end of Wes's live stream. I got a phone call from a friend of ours that just got married. My buddy Joel, for any of y'all that have seen any of the videos that had Joel in it, it's his younger son, his middle child. Cody lives up north of here a couple of hours and is going to school up there, going to college, and just recently got married back. Cody actually got married on the set date of the second anniversary of the girl's car crash, which kind of a cool thing. Cody is one of those kids that him and my oldest daughter, Ella, never knew a time in their life that they didn't know each other. They've known each other, gotten in trouble, played together, done, I mean, from day one that they can remember, they did not know. They were like brother and sister. In my mind, it probably would have been okay if it would have wound up someday being more than brother and sister. And you know, who knows, could have. Even though boys see it different, girls see it different than boys do. Boys look at that and they're like, oh, she's my sister. I don't know, even though she's not. I had a girl friend that was like that. Beautiful girl. We did tons of stuff together. Didn't grow up together, but we were great friends. She owned the motel before we did. Her mom did. I actually wound up buying it kind of from her. But we dated one time, and, you know, we kissed one time, and it was kind of like, yeah, man. You know, there wasn't no spark there. It was kind of like kissing your sister, as they say. And so we never did date, but we were great friends. We'd go off on ski trips together, and we'd do all kinds of things together. And everybody just knew there was some great romance going on, but there wasn't, because that wasn't the way I felt about it. And as far as I can tell, it wasn't really the way she felt about it either. So with Cody and Ella, pretty sure that wasn't the way Cody felt about it. And Ella was neutral, but I mentioned to her one time, I was like, you know what, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if Cody just married you. And Ella said, that'd be okay with me. I'm like, okay. But we know how that story ended. Anyway, that's kind of the way that goes. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Deborah. I wasn't expecting to see you here. That's a nice surprise, Deborah Kessler. Of course, I wasn't expecting to see anybody here. This is late in the evening and impromptu. Like I say, I wasn't even going to do this. I had no idea until Rachel sent me a text message and said, are you going live? I'm like, not that I know of. And she said, Wes kind of obligated me. So here I is. How about that? And it's good to see y'all. I hadn't done a live stream in quite a while, I don't think. You know, my brain doesn't work as good as it used to for stuff like that, but I don't believe I have anyway. Don't believe I have. It is a beautiful evening out here in far west Texas. For those of you that don't know, I am about 40-ish miles from the New Mexico state line. I can be in New Mexico in less than an hour, a lot less than an hour, depending on which route I take. So that's how far west I am. I am on the far west edge of the central time zone. As soon as you cross the New Mexico line, it becomes the mountain time zone, and it's an hour earlier over there. Later, I guess is how you'd say it. Whereas it's about to be 9 o'clock here, it will be 8 o'clock there here in just a minute. What did Rachel say that was dyslexic? Because I would have read it and not known the difference, because that's how dyslexic I am. I do that all the time. I don't know how old I was when I figured out I was dyslexic, but I realized I had to go back and reread words. If I was reading a story, a lot of times I'd have to go back and read something 2 or 3 more times because what I just read didn't make any sense, and then figured it out. There's my buddy Bent, Mr. Bent, out of shape. The man that taught me, and I still haven't done it, how to make biscuits, cook biscuits using steam instead of straight heat. That's a pretty cool trick. That's every time I think about that, I get hungry for biscuits too. Yeah, I told Rachel what the heck, I'd do a live stream just because. And I've got a little time before my wife and my daughter get home. I'm looking. I've got the Stalker app so I can keep up with them and where they are. That used to seem like kind of a weird thing, but our daughters it's Life 360 is what it is. We call it the Stalker app. We actually had that, and my wife, Happy Hair, was tracking them on their way home that night on a Wednesday night, and this is a Wednesday night, so that's always going to be weird too. But she was tracking them as they were coming home, and then noticed they were stopped, and they were stopped, and they were stopped, and she's thinking, all right, did they have a flat tire or what happened? And so turned out they didn't. But now we've all got it, so let's just see where Happy Hair is. All right, they were at a church thing in Lubbock, and afterwards, a lot of the kids like to go out to what they call bites, which is they go to some little restaurant, usually a Chick-fil-A or some such thing. Looks like on the map here they might be at a Raising Cane's or a Slim Chickens or something like that. Who knows? But anyway, that's where they are now. And so if they're there, that means they've got one of Sarah's friends with her, which means they're at least an hour from being home. So I got time. I got time. All right, I have to look at the chat. And you know me, I can, my vision is real good up to about right there, and I can see fine. But I got to get that close to be able to read the chat. I put my glasses on, I can see just fine forever, and I can still see almost, and it's not as good as it used to be, but almost microscopic detail when I'm this close. But, yeah. The teeth went, so the eyes and the ears are bound to follow, right? Hey, surviving. I'm glad you do. Curious what you're doing. Other things, huh? With a winky face. We won't ask. We won't ask. I use Google to track one another and tile. Oh, yeah, tile. I know what that is. Don't want to go. Put the tile in Lance's pocket. Yep, that. You know what? I've looked into that, Rachel. I've seen that. Thought about getting something like that, but I've never done it. Okay, Ruthless. I was wondering. Yeah. Earlier, I put a poll. If you hadn't seen it, I put up a poll on my channel on the community page. What people think their weak point is in their SHTF presentations, and I mentioned that to somebody that the extra source of power is my weakness. Which is funny since I'm an electrician. So Ruthless said, hey, man, I can install solar panels. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that too. I just had Ruthless. Here's how it works. How it works with me and a lot of other people I know. I'm an electrician. I do electrical work all day. When I come home, I don't want to do any more electrical work. If I can twist two wires together or duct tape them together, whatever's the easiest, I'm good with that. I've got, in fact, if you look at, you can't tell an electrician lives here for the most part, because I know how to put stuff together to make it work, even if it's not done right. And so that's kind of why I haven't installed my own solar system. That's just the way that works. There's an old joke about the cobbler's kids don't have shoes, and the mechanic has a car that don't run half the time. And it's that way with electricians too, I guess, the way it works. I don't know who Ryan Bingham is, Frank. I'll have to look at that. Yeah, and I won't tell. Yeah, I don't blame you, brother. I love reading the chat. I love seeing what people go, man. Sometimes chats just get a mind of their own and they take off and go crazy. I love it. Oh, boy. A 15-minute break. Well, that means Bent won't be here very long. Bent, you're the man of the house. You tell him how long of a break you'll take. You tell him you come back when you're ready. Let me know how that works. Oh, let me check something here. I'll have to redo everything. Okay. Now back to here. And put that back up. Well, it's funny. I look over here at the StreamYard chat, and it's a whole lot bigger. I can read that easier. All that. Now, see, I missed the prickly pear fruit. And let's see, I'm wondering if the YouTube chat is further behind. Not the most technologically. No, it's about right. The prickly pear fruit. I picked some when I was out hog hunting a couple of weekends ago. Brought them back and forgot about them. And so at least a couple of them sat in the bag and went bad. And then I just hadn't had time to do anything with the other ones. I need to just cut them in half and scoop them out and eat them, but I was wanting to do something cool with them. But no, No, C103. I got plenty of time. I've got at least an hour, and then after she gets here, she won't be interested in me for a while, because she'll have other things that she is doing. When she gets back. All right. I don't know if we're on or not now. Ted, you can hear me? I think so. I'm back on. I didn't even have to start a new. How about that? Didn't even have to start a new stream. That's pretty weird. I don't know what the heck that was all about. And then my mouse decided to quit working. Boy, I tell you what, it's like everything's working against me here. Good grief. Makes me wonder if I should start it now. I don't know. Okay, yeah, Rachel made it back. Yeah. Ted, that tailgater. I got to look into that. Hey, I'm curious now. Did it just show that? Did it pop back up and give everybody a notification that I was back? Or I'm wondering how people can come find us again. I mean, it'd be fun to have everybody back in here, keep the chat going real good. That's why I was wondering if I should start a new. But I mean, there's some people picking up and coming. Hi, Deborah. Thank you for coming back. But every night lately, our internet just seems to drop out for a few minutes. No real explanation why. Sometimes it's longer than a few minutes. Sometimes it's a while, and it's completely aggravating. And I guess it's still out now. What I did was I remembered that I actually have a little bit of technology, so I set up a hotspot. Check out the big brain on Rob, huh? Good grief. Anyway, we got that working, so I'll use up some data that way. And tomorrow, oh, the chat never stopped. See, I couldn't even chat. How about that? Hey, Frank, glad you made it back. Yeah, our internet is stupid, but I figured out how to set up a hotspot. Anyway, I don't even know what we were talking about when this stupid thing decided to be stupid. You on phone wire? No. Well, we have a phone wire, but we can't get internet over the line out here. They still hadn't provided that. We're out here where I live. It's just barely a step as who we're on, and they've told us several times, "Oh, we can make that happen for you." And except they send us the equipment, and then they can't make that happen. Type something in. There. That'll kind of give me a spot where I know what's going on. All right. Good grief. I think I was lamenting when we got off here. I was lamenting the fact that I couldn't be out there camping with Wes tonight. Make sure the coyotes don't drag him off, carry him away. Or I might have been talking about while I was maybe the cactus fruits that I gathered up while I was up pig hunting up on the mesa outside of Sweetwater. I don't know what I was talking about. So here we go again. Might have been making fun of myself because I haven't hooked up any solar stuff of my own yet. It's funny. I've got a couple of solar panels, and I have hey, I just wondered about something here. Is this chat going, or do I need to start? I know what's going on. I gotta hang on. I gotta fix something. Hey, Will, how are you, bud? I hope you're doing better. All right, let me go back over here. I know what I got to go do to get my chat box opened that I want. Go back here, probably bring that back up. Then I get my chat window back, maybe so. Let's see if that works. I'm doing some learning here, so everybody forgive me for a second. Okay, let's just do it. I'm just going to kick that one to the curb, and I'm going to bring this one up. Technology is not my friend. Oh, there, come here, give me that stupid thing. Open that up very well. All right, now Could tell you why, but not enough time. Yeah, I hear you, kid. Or I read you. Ha ha. Okay, back to here. Back to here. What, Will, we've had the wind up here too. Good grief, it was windy. I think on Saturday we had wind gusts that hit about 80 miles an hour a few times. Shredded a lot of pecans out of the trees that weren't ready to come out yet. And then today was not as bad, but it blew pretty good. Yesterday, it blew pretty hard again too. That's usually supposed to be a spring thing, not a this time of year thing. Had to refresh. Yeah, okay. Got that. Okay, good. Good. I think we're all back and good now. I won't have to rely on my normal regular internet, but I'm curious. Let's just look and see if it even shows up. It doesn't even show my router coming up right now. Ah, there it is, finally. Yeah, who knows? And you know, there's a chance we might be due for a new router. Ted, you may know about this stuff. Some of y'all are a whole lot, most of y'all are a whole lot smarter than I am. How long is a router supposed to last? We've got a good wireless router in there, but I'm not convinced that it's lasted real well. I feel like they should last a while, but I've heard a lot of people talk about they have to replace their routers fairly often. I don't know. Well, we didn't get any snow. I think a friend of mine up in Amarillo, a couple hours north of me, said they had fairly good frost this morning when he got up on the ground. Not ready for a frost. I'm still getting tomatoes out of my garden. I want to keep that going. I'm not seeing anything on the chat, so I don't know if it's not coming through or if nobody's saying anything. Will's the only one. I'm going to assume that nobody's saying anything. Pardon me while I have a Cheeto. It's been a long time since breakfast. ODK, Rachel, I don't know what ODK means. I don't know what ODK means. They can last a long time. It's the upgrade they do in motor company. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I buy that. Yeah, for sure. Internet stuff into the company before I need a new military life. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I was kind of hoping Aid would wind up back on here. You know, Aid and Ear out there in England is supposed to be coming out for a visit at some point. And so that's going to be kind of a fun thing. I imagine we'll go out to Wes's place and go camping, and no telling what all we'll do. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I moved out of that little town there where Wes's place is now when I was in the 5th grade and have only been back there one time since. I doubt that I'm going to recognize anything. Impedance thin to thick wire? Maybe. Because that's how normal electrical stuff works, for sure. I actually should have been more productive than I was today, but I kind of spent the day, well, I did a lot of computer stuff, to be very honest. I chauffeured my daughter around just for a little bit, but not real long. Got some invoicing stuff done. That is my Achilles heel, is doing the paperwork part. I'd rather be out doing the work part of it because I'm better at that. The paperwork part, not my friend at all. Not my friend at all. And Will, I don't know if that means you dropped out and had to get off here, but if you did, I don't know if you're still here or not. But hey, you know what? I think, well, I might not be. I was going to say, I think I'm able to actually look and see who is here and not here. No, not really. It doesn't show me everybody. Back. Here we go. Yeah. Well, I hate that the internet problem made it drop out. When that kind of thing happens, that just always tends to kill a stream and just kind of mess things up. Kind of kills the energy and the vibe that's going. So that's a drag that happened. I am curious who of y'all still has gardens going. Down here where we are. In fact, one of the videos, that's something I did today, was I kind of published several videos. Hey, Frank. Loaded, kind of, what's the word? Processed and loaded up a couple of videos today, so that I can be able to post. It's funny too. My goal is to kind of post one every Saturday or Sunday, but now that I've got them loaded up, I'm just wanting to like shove them out there. But if I do that, I won't have anything else for a while. Oh, see, Rachel just caught me. I do that. I'll be thinking of something, and while I'm saying it, another thought comes in and says, "Get out of here. We got something else to say." Who still has a garden going? Rachel. I'm wondering who still has a garden going. Other parts of the world, yes, yeah. I know the whole train of thought now, because in one of the videos, I did a video about saving seeds, where I show how to save tomato seeds and a couple of things like that and talk about it. But we're at the time, I mentioned in that we're at the time of the year here where it's drawing to a close pretty fast. We're potentially going to get a freeze on Friday night. Probably not much of a freeze. It's only claiming it's going to get down to like 33 or 35. So it won't be anything to worry about, but I'm still going to want to cover up my tomatoes. But other places, like I mentioned, still further south, especially further east, maybe. I'm guessing Frank and Tina's still good warm weather there and can keep a garden going. I'm just wondering who else still has it. Yep, in fact, there we go. Still got a few peppers, beans, and onions going. Nice. What kind of beans you got, Frank? Just green beans, garden variety? I made a joke and didn't mean to. Garden variety, green beans, bush beans, pole beans. What kind of beans do you have? My lady said brush. I can't make it even. It grows weird, and I really hadn't noticed it until I was looking here. But the left side is different than the right side. Hopefully, I need a haircut right now too. My hair is getting out of hand. Hopefully, I can get my lady to trim it up. And by the way, good to see you here, brother. I'm glad she's here. I'm OCD, but it bugs me too when I see it. But I mean, if it's going to bug me about that, this must just be the strong side over here, because there's a tooth in the front and more whiskers. So maybe that's how that works. I don't know. Oh, pinto beans, yeah. Frank, do you eat your pinto beans while they're green, or do you let them dry and then harvest them when they're dry? They're awful good. I've done that too. Just plain old pinto beans that you get out of your sack is all you got to have. You plant those things, they'll grow up good and make tasty little green beans that go good in salads and go good in with potatoes or other stuff you cook. I love doing it that way. Yeah, bush beans. Blue Lake is the type of the variety of green bean that does the best here, and it doesn't take a whole lot of them out there that we can put up a bunch. The last time we raised green beans, and that's what we do when we need green beans, we plant a bunch. And last time we did it, we canned. I want to say we canned like 80 pints and maybe 30, 40 quarts. I don't remember now, something like that. But boy, I love fresh or home canned green beans. They're really good. See, I'm sitting here self-conscious now. Turn my head like that or what? How about, I wonder if I can fold it. No, that didn't work. That made it worse, didn't it? Maybe I can roll it up under. That didn't work either. Nothing's going to work now. Now, tell your lady thanks. That's all I'm going to be able to think about and notice now. I don't care, though. Why not cut it? That's what I want to do, is cut it and straighten it out. But I've tried that a couple of times, and it's one of those deals that you cut a little too much off of this side, and now this side's out, so you cut some off of that, and now it's uneven the other way. And sometimes there's no end to that. Besides, I've given up on being cute. I'm not a pretty boy anymore. Those days are gone. But, yeah, too lopsided, that's just kind of weird too, isn't it? Man, see, you do like that. Now we can't see it. I'll get down low. How's that? Ask her if that's better. Yeah, I'm hoping. Good. Yeah, I'm hoping maybe get a haircut this evening when Happy Hair gets back. She always, I haven't paid for a haircut since I've been married. 23 years. I hadn't spent money on a haircut at all. Been a couple of times I almost did, just to try to get it kind of evened out. As it gets a little thinner up on top here, may have to start getting a little bit more creative, or I just chop the whole thing off and be done with it. But 500 pounds of groceries out of our backyard this year. Not bad at all, Frank. Not bad at all. It is amazing how much food you can grow in a small space. It really is. Frank, one of the things we do here too, black-eyed peas. I love black-eyed peas. And my wife learned how to can them from my mom. There's Aid. Hey, brother, I was talking about you a minute ago. My wife cans black-eyed peas the way my mom did it, and they are so good. I can just sit there and open a jar and just spoon them out. But the good thing about it here, two good things here that have happened, that do happen. One is that every now and then a farmer will plant them just as a sort of a rotation crop, and then they'll harvest them and sell them or whatever. But pretty much anytime they do, they don't care. I'll ask, and they'll let me go. And different guys, they'll let me go out and pick as many as I want to. A couple of years ago, went out and picked like 17 bushels. Back when all three of the girls were still here, and my dad and Happy Hair and I went out there. And before we even realized it, we had the whole back of the pickup was full of green beans. So we had about 17. That just sounds like too many, but it was a bunch of black-eyed peas. And then that same year, somebody loaned us their electric pea sheller. Now, I didn't know what an electric pea sheller was going to be, but let me tell you, I was thinking it was going to be something that you put in and you turn the crank on it, and it automatically shells out one pod at a time. But they said electric, so I was like, that's kind of cool. You can put one in and then another in. I said, that'll go a lot faster than splitting them by hand. This thing is about 1.5 feet wide and about 2 feet long of a tray, and it's got 2 rubber rollers on it, kind of like an old clothes wringer. And I started using it, and it was still pretty good because I could zip 2 or 3 through there at a time. And I thought, well, this is nice. The more I used it, the more I realized this thing will take those peas just about as fast as you feed them to them. So you pour them off in the tray, get them all lined up about the same direction, and just work them forward, and that thing sucks them through and spits out black-eyed peas. I was shelling out peas way faster than Christy could keep up with the canner. In fact, we got that whole batch of peas shelled out in about 1.5 hours, and it was impressive. We canned 120 pints, if I can remember right, 120 pints of black-eyed peas and 90 quarts, something like that. So we got black-eyed peas for years now. Black-eyed peas and green beans, we are in great shape on it. It's good. Hey, Jimmy, how are you, brother? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Yeah, Abe, we were talking about you a while ago, talking about when you get out here, pal, we'll probably, I'm glad you love me, Anonymous. I imagine all the three of us will be out there camped out on Wes's property, enjoying that together. So that's going to be a good time. Maybe too cold by then, but I'll bet we can figure something out. We get that thing kind of closed off and get a little bit of a fire going. Maybe I'll take one of my wood stoves up there that we can use and kind of get it warm. Anyway, we'll see whenever you get here. Don't know when you're coming, but that should be a good time. Sit out there around a campfire and drink a pint. or 2 or 3. Wear your mask. Wow. As if. This one, 8 is when I mentioned it. I think, I don't know if it was, I don't know, this thing stopped in the middle, but apparently kept going. So I don't know which side. I'm pretty sure it was this side of it, the restart, that I got it going. For those of you that don't know, I started this live stream earlier and my internet took a big dump on me. But fortunately, I remembered I had the technology to do a hotspot from my phone. My wife taught me how to do that. And so now I'm hooked up through that because our internet is bullcrap sometimes. I hate that. Curious to see if it shows up that it's back on or not. And it still ain't popping up real good. So we'll just keep using this. And of course, I lost my chat box. Give it back. There we go. That'll be good. Probably I should check and just see where Ms. Happy Hair is right now. If she's on the way home. Not that it matters, but I just like to keep up with. Okay, she is actually on the way, starting to leave up now. So it'll still be most of an hour before she gets back here. That's pretty common for a Wednesday night. What's cold for you and Wes might be a little different. Aid, what is cold for you? For us, cold would be 30s and 40s probably here, which would translate to you, if I can remember right, like probably teens and maybe, what do you think what it would be? 0 would be, I'd have to get the converter out, but for us, cold starts about 5 or 10 degrees Fahrenheit over freezing. Anna Lee, how are you, darling? Good to see you here. I'm glad you showed up. I hadn't talked to you in a while. I used to see Anna Lee on all the chats. So Aid, yeah, you're a cold weather guy, brother. Then that's good. That's good. Cold, 33 to minus 25. Yeah. I used to do lots of winter camping. When I lived in Colorado, I'd go out camping in the snow and was just fine with it. In fact, here a while back we were talking, I think the coldest I ever camped in, the coldest might have been minus 18 or 20. I don't remember now. It was plenty stinking cold. It was cold enough that it froze the fluid in my radiator in my pickup. Didn't freeze it solid, but it turned it into a slush, kind of like a snow cone or an icy. It was plenty stinking cold. I'll call you darling every time, darling. So you just stick around. 2 weeks in 50. Ted, I'm guessing you're saying where you are. The last 2 weeks have been in the 50s. Yeah, we've hit the 40s here a couple of times already, and going to hit the 30s for a couple of nights at least coming up here pretty soon. South Florida, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, we've talked about that before. I think we talked about my wife's parents being from South Florida, across, if I remember right, kind of across the peninsula from you. They're on the Atlantic coast in Martin County, which is Stewart, right next to Port St. Lucie, about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Miami. So we've been down there. Ted, you'll like this. We've been down there before. When Happy Hair and I go down and stay with her parents, a lot of times, even in the wintertime, we go down in January, February, whatever, we sleep out on the screened-in porch behind their house, and it's plenty comfortable for us. It's just above you. Oh, okay. So maybe you're not where I thought you were. We'll sleep on the screened-in porch. And one time we were down there, and we went to church, and even on the news, everybody's talking about how bad cold it's fixing to get. And they're all worried about people being okay and bring your pets in, and it wasn't even going to get down to freezing. And for Christy and I, we were just like, okay. And she grew up there, but she had forgotten how it how it works down there. How everybody, they're used to the warm weather, and so that now we go down there. When she grew up there, she thought it was crazy, but now we go down. We'll go out to the beach and go swimming, in February down there because especially you get in the water, it's about the same temperature it is in the summertime. Anna Lee is going to be Rachel is going to be lurking. She's plating. I should read plating up dinner. Plating up dinner. Cool. It ain't gonna be long. Wait, this ain't dinner. It's supper. Dinner is at noon. Dinner is lunch. But I won't hold it against you. Hi, Gloria. I don't know you. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. I was going to do something here, but I don't know how to do it. I thought I did, but I don't. How do okay, this is where I learn. Maybe this isn't where I learn. My eyes aren't blue. Well, they kind of look blue in this, so it must be the screen doing it. I got hazel eyes. Roasted pork loin. I love it. With roasted veggie, gravy, cream corn. And I like cream corn and biscuit. Rachel, did you make those biscuits from scratch or did you break a can open and do it? Tell the truth. Hey, Shalisa, I didn't even see you sneak in. Hey, gal. Oh, it's good to see you. I hadn't seen you in a while. Shalisa is one of my favorite people. Pretty blue eyes. My eyes are hazel. It's this light that's doing it. It's the screen that's doing it. Turn this way. My eyes are not blue. Cram corn. Carol. Yeah. Cram corn is what I do when I get some. I cram it in my mouth as quick as I can. Oh, Anonymous, yeah, y'all do get that lake effect snow. That's gnarly stuff up there. I used to have a snow plowing business, and I always appreciated that even on our worst snowfalls, it wasn't like lake effect. That's bad stuff, too. Green if I'm mad, hazel any other time. See, we got lots of hazel-eyed people in here. I knew it. Hazel-eyed people are some of the best. I started to do something a second ago. Oh, canned corn. Oh, I like canned corn, creamed corn. Yeah, whichever. Kalamazoo. Shalisa, I forgot you were at Kalamazoo. I used to have a friend. I should put you onto this and see if you can find a friend of mine from Kalamazoo. His name was Tony Narlock. Here, let me write that out here, just in case. TonyNarlock. God, didn't have my cursor set. Stupid thing. All right, try it again. TonyNarlock from Kalamazoo. No, I know you've never heard of him, but in case you ever come across anybody by that name, or if you happen to open up a phone book and there's somebody in there named Narlock whose first name is Tony or Anthony, I don't even know. When I was early 20s, I guess. Was I 20? I think I was 20 by then. He was out here, and he had been married to a girl, I think from somewhere out in this part of the world, and she gave him the boot, and it was all over. And he came and was my roommate for a little while. He's a good guy. I didn't have the empathy for him that I should have at that time because I didn't understand. But he was a pretty miserable guy. His parents came out and parked their camper trailer here for a while and visited. Really nice people. But I've always thought I'd like to catch up with him again, see how he's doing. So anyway, there's your Girl Scout project. You can, don't go to any trouble. Don't make any effort to do it. But one of those things, just because, Narlock is a fairly easy name to remember, and I get the idea there's several of them up in that part of the world. So there you go. Okay. Yeah. Age can remove the comment. Really? I didn't notice. I don't care. I don't think it's going to get my channel booted. I don't get that much traffic. And, there's a pretty good chance that she's probably right, to be very honest. I'm not gonna cave into political stuff. I'll say what I want. If somebody posts something, okay, it's not too horrible. But if you, what the heck was that about? No, my hotspot's still going. I don't know what that was. Funny business going on tonight. What I was doing a minute ago, and actually when she came on, it occurred to me I didn't know who that was. I was trying to figure out how to add more people as moderators, and I don't know how to do it. I really thought I knew how to do it, but apparently I don't. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I have to go in from studio or something like that. I don't know. But I'll figure it out because I just realized that there are several of y'all. It's raining. I wish it was raining here. No, I don't think I wish it was raining here. We got a lot of cotton getting ready to come out of the field, and rain is not what the farmers need right now. They don't. How do I add moderators? I really should know how to do this from here, and I just really don't. That ticks me off. I don't like not knowing things. Can I move it over where I can get to this? I really, all Tony Narlocks on Facebook. Yeah, okay, well, that makes sense. Oh, I know what's going on. I can't do it because I know. I'm watching. I'm got the YouTube version up on my second channel, the PMS Brothers, and so that's why I can't. All right, okay, I'll figure it out. I'm oh, good grief! Yes. How do I? All right. I'm gonna do something here. Let's see what this messes up. Y'all bear with me for a momentito here. I want to do this. I'm going to switch accounts back over to primary channel. Dink right there. All right. Now I should be able to wait. See ya R. Who's R? Who R? See ya. Oh. C103. You out of here, bud? All right. Well, bummer, but good to see you. Okay. Now let's see what we can figure out. No, that's already ha! There we go. I'm gonna make it rain wrenches. How about that? It's gonna be raining wrenches on you folks. Maybe if I can still, it's only sort of working. I'm not 100% convinced it actually is working. And it may not be working. Well, maybe I'll give up on this. All right, come on. Yeah, something still isn't doing. Oh, no. Still isn't doing quite right. I don't know. I don't know if it's working. I can't tell. So I'll come back and figure it out later about that. Later. All right. So was it an old girlfriend of a friend of mine said, sew buttons on your underwear. All right. Well, anyway, let me get back to business here. I all sidetracked and everything, and we'll switch it back over. I'm hoping that if I switch channels, watching it from my other channel, that I actually get credited for the watch hours for it. I don't know if it works that way or not, but maybe it do. All right. So first I got to do this. Boy, this is I'm as bad as Wes. Just like leaving everybody hanging, aren't I? Okay, I think we got it all back, and hooray. Hey, and I guess it did work. Well, now, wait a minute, though. I told him I don't know. Anyway, there it is. So congratulations to all you new wrench holders. Here's to you. Use it with discretion. I'm not one of those guys that shuts people down. I let people... I'm okay with negative comments. I'm okay with hateful comments, all that kind of stuff, because I like everybody to be able to speak freely and not get butthurt because just because somebody said something I didn't like or disagreed with or whatever else. Free speech. Refresh your chat. I think I'm okay without refreshing it. Let's SNDOUT. You're welcome. Hey, go. Now see, dadgummit, John. Hi, John. I would have made you a moderator, but I already switched over. I will do that here in a little bit. I promise. John Mallory, for y'all that don't know, has his place in California is way cooler than your place in California. It's way cooler than my place in Texas, too. John's a neat guy. I met John on Suspicious Observers, and just a pretty good guy. One of those guys that's way smarter than me, too. You know, I've got marbles for brains, and I lose them all the time. Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. And by bourbon, you mean another bourbon. I'll bet you. But maybe here in a minute. I'll finish that one first. Yes. So everything's working good. John, it's good to see you. Big, I don't know what the right word is here, but big praise. John's one of those people that really gives me some good and insightful comments sometimes, and shares some good information with me. And he's one of those people I appreciate all of you. I'm just full of love and all oozy with syrupy sweet comments and stuff. But I really do enjoy all the people that I get to interact with here. It's loads of fun. Even the people that sometimes say kind of snarky stuff. There's a gal, I met her through Suspicious Observers too, and she's got some issues in her life, and I get it. And boy, she just comes back with some hateful, venomous stuff sometimes, and I've come pretty close to just shutting her down and blocking her because of some of the stuff, but I don't like to do that to people. You know, every now and then I get in a bad mood, and I want to say what I think. And sometimes here's the thing, as all of y'all know, here's the thing with when you type out a comment or send a text message or something like that, very often the way that somebody reads it is not the way that it was intended to be read. That's an easy mistake to make. I hate when people get into chat arguments because you don't know. It depends on the tone of voice you put in your head when you're reading somebody's words as to how you think they meant it. I see people get all upset all the time. Well, look how he said that. No, there is no how he said that. Did you hear the way he talked to me? No, there was no hearing the way they talked to you. They typed some words. How you heard it, it came from your head, your state of mind. And I've been guilty of it too. I'll read something somebody wrote and think, well, what a butthole that was. And then read it again when I'm in a better mood and go, oh, well, maybe that's not what they meant. So that's one of those things you got to be careful with. Mama Bear, cool. Thank John, sincere, I mean it. And thank you. Yes, even Billy Bird. See, a lot of people don't like Billy Bird to come on their channel. I'm okay with Billy Bird. I think she's funny. I mean, she likes to go in and stir the soup and just see who she can get stirred up and aggravated. I don't dislike that. I kind of enjoy doing that sometimes too. There's lots of times I'll throw some comment out and it's just like, let's see what they say to this. Not to be rude or bad, but yeah. And by the way, Ted is right. Japanese whiskey, that Suntory Toki or whatever it is. Oh my gosh. I saw Reese and I have a bottle of Suntory. I don't even remember. I think Reese picked it up thinking it was going to be good because he'd seen good things about it. We tasted that. That was the nastiest whiskey I've ever put in my mouth in my life. And I've drank some bottom shelf stuff. And that stuff was awful. We can't stand it. And so now that's our initiation. We're having a good bourbon and we're like, hey, if somebody that's never been there before, we're like, hey, we got something you need to try. We got a Japanese bourbon that we only, or whiskey, whatever it is. It's not a bourbon, I don't think. But we tell them we got something that we just keep in reserve. And this is the absolute truth. We keep in reserve just for people who are here at the speakeasy for the first time. Let us get you a sip of it. And watch the face they make when they drink it. And all of them are like, you like this? And we're like, no, we don't like it. Well, I thought you said we do. Because we know. But now you're in the club. And so let's get you something to wash that taste out of your mouth. And that's exactly right, Ted. And for all of you that know Hoople's cat, Hoople's is one of those guys that I appreciate him for his preparedness-minded stuff, but he's on the far other side of the fence from me. So sometimes I have to take him in small doses. God bless him. But he did a Scotch thing here a while back. It was a pretty good little video, except that he had that Suntory Toki on there and acted like it was fairly good. And so now I'm thinking, I don't know if I believe him or if he's just messing with us, or if his taste buds are really that screwed up that he doesn't recognize something horrible when he tastes it. I don't know. Maybe my taste buds are messed up. Jimmy, are you out of here, bud? I just now saw that. So, all right. Well, Jimmy, I appreciate you being here. I look forward to talking to you on some of the emails that we do. So I got to go back and catch up here a little bit. Don't try the Japanese bourbon. Chat arguments are retarded. Yes, that's exactly right. Retarded. Yeah, Anna, I know. Got in an argument. Someone texted earlier this week, all because they read it wrong. Yes, you can't put too much water in a nuclear reactor. Well, yes, that's true. That makes me wonder if I missed something further up. The Japanese button. Button. The West drinking diesel on that. Oh, that stuff at the speakeasy. Yeah, for sure, Aid. And by the way, Aid, when you get here, the speakeasy ain't going to be there anymore, probably, because Reese moved to Lubbock. It makes me really sad because that was our cool little hangout spot. Now, if he hadn't sold the house, it'll still be there and we can still sneak out. Even if Reese isn't there, you and me and Wes can still go. It won't be a problem. So hopefully we get to do that. On to the definitive Antler 4 reference. Ambiguous sentence can be taken. Antler 4 reference. No points for me. Duck, goaded. Anna, I'm lost. John Belushi, Saturday Night Live. Oh, I don't. That was the days when Saturday Night Live was worth watching, and I don't remember that. Goes to can't put. See, I may have to have another bourbon to figure that out. But I love it. I love riddles. I love puzzles. That kind of thing. Hey, John, I'm curious. Have you ever been to any of the observing the OTF conferences that Ben put on in the past? Did you ever make it to one of those? I'm just curious if we brushed shoulders and I didn't realize it. Nope. Okay. Well, I was just curious. I've been to two of them. Good grief, it was easy. They were in Albuquerque. I can be in Albuquerque faster than I can be in Dallas. So that was nice when they do them there. In San Francisco, huh? Okay. Yeah, I guess San Francisco, maybe that what, like in 2012 or 14 when he was doing the tour in the Mystery Machine. They not really the Mystery Machine. Drink since May? Aid, brother. That troubles me. I mean, I guess the proper thing to do would be to say congratulations, good job, but that troubles me. No, I was talking the Magic Mystery Machine. That was, I think that was what it was, the Mystery Machine. Anyway, on Scooby-Doo, the van they drove around. Well, Ben at Suspicious Observers had a big bus that he drove around, the Observers bus that he took. He would take it to different places, and they'd get the telescopes out and do stuff like that, and it was pretty cool. Okay, wait. Anonymous, what the heck did I miss here? I feel like I just stepped through a time zone. Dude, 2 years later, he had an issue with doctors and nurses with beards saying they were viral spreaders, yet new evidence showed they were less likely with good hygiene to spread. He couldn't accept scientific evidence. His bias was too strong. Who are you talking about? I pity fools who don't learn from mistakes. Hooples, yes. Oh, are we talking about Hooples? Okay, maybe. Yeah, either way. Cheap date. Carol, see? If I only had a brain. Joran Yaderberg, man, all the way over from Sweden. Good morning to you, my friend. Good to see you here. Yeah. Yep. I'm just going to smile and nod. Shadow Scout Swede, for all of you that don't know, is Joran Yaderberg, who is a prepper in Sweden that has a channel of his own and has been kind of a regular in our community for a long time. Good guy. Yes, he does, Anonymous. That's exactly what he thinks, and that is common amongst progressives and all like that. They operate based out of emotion. Most of the people, even like Hooples, I know, really do care about other people and want everything to be okay, but they don't want to let them make their decisions in deciding what's okay for themselves. It's like people that think I need to wear a seatbelt. You know, they want me to be safe, and I appreciate that. But they're not going to allow me to be unsafe if I choose, if I do something that they think is going to be unsafe. Aid would be a cheap date. I thought you were telling me this little bit of bourbon I had, and I'm getting stupid with making me a cheap date. And I'm not going to deny it, but I'm not going to fess up to it too. The boss at the reactor gave last minute advice as he left on vacation. I gotta go back now and do my Saturday Night Live research. Yeah, exactly. Double A, exactly. You know, I know a lot of people that are on the left side of the fence, and they really do. They care about people. I mean, they care about people to the extent that they want everybody to be healthy and safe and prosperous and all that. And wouldn't that be wonderful? I mean, I think they call that utopia, but that's about an unachievable goal. In the meantime, you have to let people make their own mistakes and learn the hard way. But the problem is they think that if I make a mistake, it affects them. Maybe it does. But if I don't make a mistake, that's going to affect them too. I know. Get it now. Yes, you can put in too much water. What comes out is bad. One guy got it. Where are you going? Put water in. No, you can't put too much in. Yes, the conundrum of the meaning of words. Well done, John. I would expect no less of you, brother. John, did you ever go shoot that bear? John had a bear that was getting into his apples, and he was going to shoot it. Yes, finally. Thank you for yes, drawing a sharp point on that. Did you go shoot that bear or not? I'm looking forward to seeing you have a bearskin rug and some ground up bear meat in the freezer. I got a dip. What are you using snuff now, Rachel? Oh, oh. All right, Rachel. I don't know whether to thank you or not. This is your fault that we're all here, but I'm glad we're all here. Rachel, thanks. I hope you have a great night. I appreciate you. I really do. You're a neat gal. The panda eats shoots and leaves. The panda. Anna, look at that. How clever you are. Yes, yes, yes. Bonus points for Anna Lee Brown, everybody. A wordsmith, and we never realized it, or at least I didn't. Maybe the rest of y'all did. Shalisa, have y'all had snow up there yet? Has it been cold? Y'all had any of that kind of stuff, that kind of weather yet? I kind of don't think you have. I remember that video you did about the. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know, Shalisa Shell is the Fatwood Queen. She all kinds of Fatwood. Oh, and you know what, Shalisa, I think I still have it. I have some Fatwood that I gathered for you to send to you. I gathered it in Colorado. I think it was in New Mexico. I think it was that. Boy, don't get sad here, Lisa. It was that. I've even made a video of getting it for you. But what that happened to be about 2 weeks before the accident, and I just flat haven't thought about it. That got pushed under the carpet. That was one of the videos I was going to try to get done and send you. My plan, maybe I can get it back together, Shalice. My plan was to send you that Fatwood and then do a little live stream with you while you lit it up to see. You'll be in Las Vegas, New Mexico, or Las Vegas, Nevada? Because Las Vegas, New Mexico isn't very. In fact, I'm going to be going through Las Vegas, New Mexico here in about a week. Anyway, I have got. Boy, I got to find it, Shalise. I got to find it, but I got some Fatwood for you, and it was like I say, it was about 2 weeks before the accident, and I mean, everything's gone south since then. So I'll see if I can find that, and I'm pretty sure I've still got the video clips from going out and cutting that loose. But I remember being up there camped out just under Wolf Creek Pass, and I was kind of out walking in the woods not far from the camp there, and I saw this big old down chunk, and it was all red and gooey and really cool. So I'm going to see if I can find that, because that's a neat thing. Boy, I had absolutely, who knows, my brain does not work like it should. It's getting better, but since the accident, I've suffered some brain damage, and I'll get it figured back out. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. It should still be really good. It should, because it was some fat wood. Anna Lee, my goodness, not that grammatically correct. Yes, Anna, I happen to have heard and seen some of your grammar, and I think it's great. But yes. I'll take an example of my commas, punctuation. Important. That's exactly right. That I will completely respect you if Oxford comma when appropriate. Yes, I'm the same way. I'm a grammar Nazi. I really am. I just, if I send a text message, it has to be capitalized. It has to have the punctuation. It has to have a period or question mark or something at the end. And if a word's spelled wrong, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. Yes, Carol, it will. I think you're right. Exactly. In fact, even just now I had a thought, and it went away. So, I was going to mention the grammatically correct thing. That my daughter Aranza, she was at 13 years old. Each of my children, all three of my girls, had some aspect of me but no two of them had the same aspect of me, which I always thought was kind of funny. But Aranza, she was the middle child. She had the grammar Nazi thing, that she was big on. And I don't know if y'all know. I'm going to tell this story. I don't know if y'all already know it. Forgive me if you. I like to hear myself tell it. A friend of mine used to say, "If you heard me, don't stop me. If you've heard this story before, I like to hear myself tell it." I love that. I suspected that, Carol. Well, I want to hear your story sometime too. So Aranza was a reader. Good grief, Aranza read books and books and books and books and books, just like her mom and I do. And there was a book by a guy up in Amarillo. Freddie Perez is his name. He writes children's science fiction books. And she had read one or two of his and had been excited to get the next one. And she got it and started reading it. And she about couldn't read it. I'm like that too. If I get a book like an ebook or something, and I start reading it, and it's too bad, the grammar and the syntax and all that isn't right, I twitch. For those of you that saw the movie Hannibal, I think might have been the name of it, where Hannibal Lecter's sitting at the concert, and one guy keeps hitting sour notes, and every time he does, Hannibal Lecter kind of twitches. And yeah, I'm that way when I read something. If I read it and it's screwy, I can't do it. I'll close a book in the middle of it, and I don't care how it ends. I can't do it anymore. Aranza was the same way. So fast forward a couple of months later, Happy Hair does the hair clip stuff, and she goes to show, and Comic-Cons are one of the venues that she likes to do, and there's one in Lubbock, the Lubbock Comic-Con. If you don't know what a Comic-Con is, it's all about comic books and science fiction and all that kind of Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. And people dress the parts and they act it out sometimes, and they're pretty fun, neat, nerdy places when they have an event like that. Well, this guy Freddie dresses up like a Klingon warrior, and he has a booth at all these, and he sells his books from there. And so he was at this one, and Aranza figured it out. And she was like, "Oh, that's the guy that writes those books. I really want his next book, but I don't. What if it messed up like the other one was?" She finally went over there and talked to him and said hi. And at some point during the conversation, I guess she mentioned to him, like, well, she's 13 years old at this time, 12 or 13 at this time, and she's like, "Hey, if you ever need help, checking out your books to make sure everything's right, I'd be glad to help you with that." And he picked up on what she was saying, and he said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, I noticed a couple of things in that last book." And he laughed. He's like, "I know." He says, I know. He says, "What happened was the publisher was rushing us to get it out, to get it into print. They wanted the manuscript before I was done with it, and I had to turn it in, and they just went with it like it was." He said, "It had some errors." And she's like, "Yeah, it had some stuff that wasn't right." He said, I tell you what, let me have your address." And so he got her address, and he sent her the next manuscript that came out. She got a manila big envelope in the mail, had the manuscript in it and some markers and a notepad and a note from him. He said, "Okay, here you go." Said, "Go crazy, see what you can figure out." And she did. She read through it, marked it up, made, corrections, made change suggestions, and did that kind of stuff. Sent it back to him. He got it. He was just thinking it was just some neat thing he was doing for some little kid. He got it back, and he was like, "Whoa," and he put a lot of the changes in there. Her name went in the book as one of the editors, and after that, she got every manuscript for any book he was doing, and she was literally one of his. After that, my sister made her crazy. My little sister always wanted to edit books and do that kind of thing. And when she found out Aranza was doing that, it was just one of those. Sorry, it was just one of those really neat things. That's a great memory now, and makes me very proud, of course. So there's that story, and I keep thinking one day I will be able to tell that story, and it won't do that to me. So I'm sorry for that. My apologies. Let me go back to the chat and get caught up. All right. Pardon me. Target loads right in the ass there. Good. Good. Well, another hide ain't going to hurt. This is how far back I am here. Everybody's saying goodbye to Rachel, and John has shot the bear, or at least peppered him once or twice, and I think that's great, which that was even before I realized it. So, la 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 la, can't wait to smell it. Yes, it's going to smell good. You saw that one. I saw that one, and so there really weren't that many planning on a big trip soon. How are you? Hey, us nerds are amazing. Yes, we are. John, well, John, I just wasn't ready to send them to you yet because here we go. This is me coming up with something on the spot here. It'll sound good even if it's not entirely accurate. I just got some seeds saved, and they're not quite dry and ready to ship yet. And so as quick as they're done, I'll have them out to you. Or my brain just doesn't work right. One of those two. Anyway, yes, I'll get those to you. Long time bridge here. All right. Adam Savage does Comic-Con. I'll bet that's a different Adam Savage than I know because I had a condo up in Breckenridge before we call it Breckenridge, Colorado, that I sold and helped do a little bit of the remodel on quite a while before we moved back here. A guy named Adam Savage. I can't imagine it'd be the same guy. We went to a Avalanche hockey game in Denver one night and drank a whole bunch of Maker's Mark. He was an architect, and that was a pretty cool evening. Thank you, Sleazy. Yes, glad I told it too. Tribulation Safe. Hi, don't know you. Good to see you. Welcome to our live stream here that we're having. Oh, Mythbusters. I've heard of that. Okay. I don't know any. I've never seen it. I don't. If y'all make a reference to TV shows, I'm not going to know much about it. I may have heard the name. Boy, thanks to Anonymous American and his lady. Good grief! I just want to get a pair of scissors now and go whoppy chop. We just don't watch TV. There's just too much junk and crap on there, and we just don't do it. We'll watch something off of Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that, and maybe a TV series, but we don't get all the commercials and whatever with it that way. So a lot of that kind of stuff is going to be lost on me. I'm sorry, but it is. Tribulation. Tell us something about yourself. Where in the world are you, and how did you stumble onto us? Cool to know. This part YouTube. Okay. Thanks, Carol. I might look into that. They blow stuff up. Yeah. I'm all about that. I've blown up some stuff, sort of. Uh-oh. That's an alarm, isn't it? We have to fix that. Ooh, I should also check and find out. Aha. Happy Hair and Cornelius are about 12 miles out right now, so they're getting close. But that means we still got time because even when they get here, they won't. I say that. Cornelius will walk in here and want to talk to me. That's how that goes lots of times. So, anybody that doesn't know it, I've mentioned this before. I put up a poll on my channel on the community page. One of those little things where you go vote on the stuff about what your weak point of any of you that are into preparedness, and what are you going to do if SHTF hits, and if it hits tomorrow, what's the thing that you would work on first? What are you weak on and need to fix? That's how Ted and I wound up having that conversation about an electrician that hasn't installed his own solar panels. Coffee creamer cannon. Oh yeah, coffee creamer has explosive, like a lot of dust. They're explosive when they are vaporized and you hit a certain saturation in the air. I'm very well aware of that from the grain elevators and some of that stuff I work on. Got to be careful. course, I'm going to have to go get an ice cube or two for this, just because. Hi, Bent. Yes, we're still up and running. Actually, Bent, were you here when we weren't up and running, when my internet decided to get stupid? Cement truck full of... Good grief. Yeah. I will be right back. I'm just going to grab some ice. Oh, and run the microwave. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, how delicious. How many of y'all remember that commercial? See, that's one of the reasons I'm glad I don't watch a lot of TV, because I've got commercials stuck in my head from 40 years ago. I should turn the light on right quick while I'm up. That's the light over my driveway. I turned it off because a lot of times it glares. Yeah, just like it's doing now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it won't be so bad, but makes it easier when they drive up. They'll be able to see to get in better. And cheers. Ah, yes. All right. Located in South Carolina, and Holy Spirit brought. You know what? I'm not going to knock that, because that easily could be the case. I'm all about that kind of thing. I'm good with it. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Shalisa. One video a week is good content. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Shalisa, if any of you that have not been to Shalisa's channel, you need to go. She does the coolest, best special effects. She's got some neat stuff on her channel. She really does. She does claymation stuff. She does great videos where she'll be like 3 different people in the same video at the same time. I don't know how she does it. And she used to do this really neat risque. It wasn't really risque, but it was just kind of fun. She called it Shower Time Shoutouts. Shalisa, how come you don't do Shower Time Shoutouts anymore? That was fun. That was a neat, cool thing you used to do. That was great. She is loads and loads and loads of fun. I mean, she is just loads of fun. She's a neat gal. Shalisa, I don't know if even she knows this, but after the accident and people were saying nice things, Shalisa said one of the nicest things that anybody ever said. And I'm going to get sad again, damn it. Anyway, she said something really nice. Shalisa, do you remember what it was? I wonder, because I sure do. They were the best shout-outs. Yes, they were. Hey, Crown is good, brother. Which one? Just plain old regular Crown? You got Crown Black or Crown Vanilla? They got all kinds of them. Hey, Auslander, good for you. Are you you're still in the isolation camp? I wondered about that. Auslander was in Europe for a while, over in Central Europe, Germany, I think. Went back to Australia, and of course they stuck him in an isolation camp, a FEMA camp, if you want to call it that, for a while. So he's dealing out of there. He's a good guy. Got a pretty good channel too. So neat to see him. Home turf. Yeah, at least it's home turf. But, still, brother, I'll be glad. Mate, I'll be glad when you get out of there and can get back to your own digs. Boy. Yeah, some strangeness going on in the world right now. Yep, I bet that's right. Auslander, sometimes it's fun just to be back in the place where everybody talks the same way you do too. I've been in other places where people don't talk right, and it's good to get back to Texas where they speak normal again. So yeah, here's to that. Drink internal porch light. Yes. Hey, Steve. Hey, buddy. How are you? How are you? Man, we're drawing just all the finest people here tonight. This is great. This is great. Everybody that doesn't know Steve in integrative preparedness, man, he's like the hottest thing going right now. He is putting out about 20 to 30 minutes of solid wisdom every day. And speaking of authors, Steve, I don't think you were here a second ago. I actually told that story about my daughter and how she got to where she was editing books, when she was 13. So I was thinking about you while I was telling that. But how about that? Hey, Oscar, my homie, brother, good to see you. I've been thinking about you lately. In fact, I was out there in my shop today. My homeboy Oscar there from out in Cali sent me a cigarette lighter the other day with said electrician on there. Yeah, it's apple juice. You know it is, brother. And anyway, I sat out there today, Oscar, flicking that Zippo on and off, getting it dialed in real good, thinking about you. So I appreciate that. Shalisa, are you really going back to oh, John's out of here. Yes, I will write myself a note. If you're still here, I got a list. John, I'm a professional. I write stuff on the backs of envelopes so that I can make sure I remember. And I'm going to write that. With an exclamation, double exclamation mark with a wrinkly smile. How about that? See there? Anyway, yes, I will get those out. Thankfully, people are forgiving of my my less than perfect brain anymore. Oh, all right. Here, I got to go catch back up. Yes, home turf. Jim Wyatt said he always liked people who choke up at the right things. Steve, thank you. Thank you. I feel like that's the right thing too. And yeah. So maybe you did hear this. I don't know. Anyway, either way, that's good. John. Carol, yeah, go get some sleep, hon. Carol, I'm looking forward. One of these days we're going to meet, and I'll figure out how to get in touch with you when I'm up in Amarillo, and we'll get to visit a little bit because I think you probably got a story to tell that I need to hear, and I'm going to look forward to it. Oop, I hear voices. Either I'm being invaded or everybody's home. Let me go on and lock the front door. All right, there we go. Hey, how long has this thing been going? How long have I, sometimes I don't know when to shut up. Let's see. I have not known when to shut up for about an hour and a half now. No surprise, I'm sure. Los Angeles. Boy, when I was out here a while back in Los Angeles, and I got to hook up with Oscar out there, and he took me over into East LA, and we went to a little cafe food joint. I can't remember the name of it, but boy, it was good. We had some ceviche. I think we had some ceviche and tacos, and boy, that was tasty. That was the real deal. You get in that part of town, and you're getting the real deal kind of stuff, and it's pretty yummy. So Shalisa is going to fly out to Oregon on November 3rd, see her brother, first time, big long layover in Las Vegas, Nevada. Having lunch with Grizzly Taco, cool. That'll be good. And then maybe one more meetup. Yeah. We are in the last days. Tribulation, that's very possible. She is not in here. There were no cats in here. So Cornelius is inside now, my daughter Sarah.
Guess what hat I wore today for him?
Oh, he's not even on here. Wes is in, I don't know if you know, Wes bought a property in Colorado. Huh?
He's sleeping down there.
Yep, he's sleeping down there. And I wanted to go, but I didn't. So, but that'll be cool. In fact, maybe if you'll let me get a picture of you with that hat later.
I'm good.
I knew you were going to say that. But, I mean, we can get a picture of it and send it to him. He'd think that was pretty cool. Sorry. Told you. Cuatro vientos mariscos. Okay. Cuatro Vientos Mariscos. That was the name of it. Okay, yeah, I couldn't have remembered. Like, yeah, it looks like Santa Claus like dumped his whole sleigh in there just about. Good grief, all the packages we got today. I'm glad she's got lots of money. Maybe she'll share some with me. My wife orders lots of stuff. She's not quite here yet, Bent, but she'll be in a moment. Yeah, seafood. Yeah, Los Angeles made the vaccine mandate. They can go pound sand. Yes, brother. They can go pound sand. Screw that. Yeah, you know where I am. There's Happy here. Come say hi. Bent wants to say hi to you, and a couple other people do too. And Wes isn't even on here. Apparently, for those of you that don't know, Wes did a little live stream from the property. There she is. You like I have to do the laptop to get it to work right. It's pretty great. Since you got money to order like 50,000 things, you may have to buy me another laptop.
You think?
Yes, I do.
Just because I shop for Christmas throughout the year instead of Christmas Eve.
So I could take a new laptop for Christmas. Hey, I think they got some good deals going right now. We've got all the finest people on here. We got my buddy Oscar out there in LA, and Annalie Brown, and Bent Out of Shape, and Ted Simonis. I don't know, you may not know. Shalisa even here. Shalisa Shell. Steve Smith was here for a minute. I don't know. I think he may have got. Yeah, I think he just dropped in to say hi. There's Wayne, Ungrateful Peasant. Wayne's going to be coming through here actually, probably here in a couple of weeks, probably after we get back. Rodney, yes. Thank you, Ted. You see Ted's comment at the bottom?
Can't see them.
Oh, can you not? Yeah, you don't have here. Oh, I don't have my glasses. Boy, howdy, that was pretty great, wasn't it? Ah, she's going to get some mileage out of that. Well, that was bad. I get used. Thank you. Ted says I need a haircut, and yes, I do. So perhaps this evening when you get.
Where does he see that you need a haircut?
Because I talked about it earlier that I needed one. Anonymous American, my buddy, his wife was blowing me crap because my mustache is like, all a whole lot on one side and not as much on the other. Wait, I did get that right. So maybe we can get that figured out a little bit. I can't. I've tried it 2 or 3 times and I can't get it because I'm not a haircutist. Wow, Bent, are you one of those annoying dudes that gets all your Christmas shopping done early and like? Yeah, I've actually got the first time in my life probably I've actually got most of mine done already. Talk to me, Iraq. Fuel, yeah, Anonymous. I'll bet that's right. No. Ted, most of her friends do not call her Happy Hair. That's something Wes coined at one point. But some of them do. Some people call her Happy Hair. That was just something Wes coined a long time ago, and it's just kind of a fun thing. Now, go to Iraq and see how they've been living for 100 years, and then tell me we as Americans are living in the end days. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah. The end days is kind of true, but the end days doesn't mean that we're anywhere close. We're just end days is just kind of an abstract term that is not entirely. Oh, you're welcome. You saw all the stuff I got, and the whipping cream is out in the fridge outside.
Yeah, whatever.
Sarah has been baking stuff. She made
no thanks.
okay. Anyway, she's been baking stuff,
They
and
don't want to see.
They probably do actually.
They don't.
That's just being weird. Yeah. No, you're right. We ain't seen nothing yet. It's gonna get there. I fear. I hope not.
What do you fear and hope not?
That things are going to get a lot worse. One of my buddies on here is talking. One of my buddies here has been in country in war zones, and he's seen how bad it can really be. And so a lot of people talk about how that things are really bad right now. It's like in church here some time ago. People said, "Well, we're being persecuted," and I said, "Oh no, we're not being persecuted right now. There's uncomfortable situations. We ain't being persecuted yet, but it's probably coming."
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway, so he has seen that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, this stupid computer. There we go. No, Oscar, that's about when I do mine a lot too. Oh, and Bent out of shape says hi. You remember who Bent is? He sent that cool package that had all the neat stuff in it that Mommy opened up.
Florida, California.
Yep, California. See, a lot of good people in California, it turns out. Like Hulk Hogan. Well, thank you, Ben. I'll go with that.
Don't eat my food.
I won't eat your food. We've got other good stuff that I got. So we're in good shape. You went to Whataburger. Oh, is that where y'all went for bites?
No. I just wanted to go there because I had to get good.
Huh? Makes sense. Makes
It's not
sense.
mine.
What's that?
It's not mine.
The medical stuff? It's not mine. I didn't order any of
It
that.
has Vance's name on it.
Oh!
You open the package, it's got your name on it.
Well, we opened it because it was damaged, and the FedEx guy was like, "Hey, we need to check and make sure there's not something damaged in here." Okay, cool. Well, we'll stick a piece of tape over it, and we'll never know. I don't think he'd care anyway. Is that your? No, no, Oscar. Yes, this is the rifle I hunt pigs with lately when I go out at night. Just since you brought it up. This is the one that has the thermal scope on it. 308. Yep, that's right. Good job, sir. 308. It's got the big, heavy bull barrel on it. Big old thick rascal, which makes it weigh. I bet this thing's pushing 15 pounds. It is not light, but yeah, it is a hog-killing son of a gun. Man, I mean, I went last weekend. Huh?
No, it's just a gun.
It's a hog killing son of a gun. That's what it is. Its
gun.
dad was a hog killer too, I'll bet you. Sarah's being clever. Anna and Shalisa, y'all would appreciate Sarah sometimes. Anyway, yeah. This is one of them. I went out last weekend. For those of you that don't know, I got a friend that has some property up on a mesa between Abilene and Sweetwater, and I get to go up there and shoot hogs. He'll let me go up, and he wants me to. He'd love for me to come up every weekend. It's about a 2.5 hour drive, so it's worth it. About 3 weekends ago, I was up there. I killed somewhere between 5 and 7. I found 5 of them that I'd shot. 2 of them probably got, but didn't find them. Didn't feel like chasing them into the brush in the middle of the night. Last weekend, I was there. My little brother and I. We dropped 3 or 4 more. Each of us brought one home. So I've got 3 hogs in the freezer now I need to deal with. Yeah, Shalisa, they don't give me any crap for it. Anonymous, Hulk is a commie? I didn't know that. Hey, Chance, I didn't see you sneak in here, bud. Mr. Chance B, originally from right up here in my part of the world. Nice try.
I ordered Dr. Pepper and they gave me clown juice.
They gave you what?
Clown juice.
Okay, sir.
That was good.
The delivery on that was very well done. Ha! Anonymous says hi to Happy and Little Happy here.
Says I'm happy. I'm very disappointed.
Happy Hair. So she's like calling you Happy Hair Junior. Yes.
Mr. Armstrong.
Sounds like seal juice.
Mm-mm. Clowns, they honk their little noses and they're like.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got the honky noses. Honky. I said honky. Haha. Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, Oscar, that was a different rifle. That one didn't have the thermal scope on it. That one's just a regular scope. But it's like almost like a twin rifle to it. Tribulation, thank you for coming in. It was good to have you here. Maranatha to you too. Well, Anna Lee, apparently clown juice is something my daughter just made up because of the noise the straw makes when she rubs it through the top of the plastic lid. It goes, so she says it's like a clown honking their nose, because she's clever like that. Yes, are you? Aid, you still here? Aid, are you still here? Aiden, are you still here? Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, Auslander, I bet y'all got some cool places to go hunting and fishing down there. That's like a whole different world down there. I mean, we think we got a lot of stuff here in Texas that can kill you and hurt you, but good grief, you can't touch anything down there. Man, that would be a whole different. You got to first 6 months there, you got to spend learning what's going on. Yeah, Signal, Anonymous. That's right. Signal app is a good way to go. Yeah, that's a good way to go. Wayne, I don't know if you saw it, but Chance asked if your number was still the same. So, I'm glad to know y'all might be in good contact. And there you go. Okay, I see. I'm slow to the party. Yeah, I'm real slow to the party. Never mind me. By the way, Wayne, I'm hoping that you will eventually accept that invitation I sent you here a while back to for that group thing. Oh boy. Oh yes, Anna, I knew you would love that. I knew you would think that was pretty cool. In-laws. I'm lucky. I have got great in-laws. My mom and dad-in-law are really good people. They have always been really nice to me. I am very fortunate that way. Very fortunate. Yeah, peer pressure. Yeah, accept it. Yeah, just say yes. Just say yes. And I say that extremely jokingly too, because I never was one to give in to peer pressure. If I gave into peer pressure, it's because it was something I wanted to do anyway. But if it wasn't something I wanted to do, all the peer pressure in the world wasn't going to make a difference. Ms. Happy Hair, do you care to give me a time frame for how long I should go before I shut this down and get off?
15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay. Let's see what time it is. Oh, perfect. That'll shut it down at 11 o'clock our time. That'll work. This has been fun. Rachel's gone now, but for anybody that doesn't know, this is Rachel's fault that I'm doing this, because I didn't know. I think I started to mention this a while ago, but somebody distracted me. I didn't know I was going to be doing a live stream tonight, because I was going to be Mr. Industrious and work on invoices, which I did. I did some invoices. But Rachel sent me a text message and said, "Are you going live or not?" And I'm like, "Not that I know of." She said, "Wes said you were going live." I'm like, I didn't tell him I was going live. But I missed the end of Wes's live stream because Cody called. And so I talked to Cody for probably about 45 minutes. And then when I came in, it's when Rachel sent that. And I figured, you know what the heck? I hadn't done a live stream in a long time. Then while I was doing the live stream, the internet quit right in the middle of it. And so I set up a hotspot, which is what I'm using right now. And it worked pretty good. But apparently, even though the internet quit, the live stream kept going, because everybody said the chat never stopped. It kept going. And so I just jumped right back into the same one and figured I'd lost everybody, because when I came back on, there wasn't anybody else here. And since then, a few people have jumped in. It's been kind of fun. GTG. Anonymous American says GTG. I'm going to guess that means get the girls. Or it might mean good to go. Oscar, brother, it was good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. I love you, bud. You take care of yourself. Appreciate you. And Shalise is out of here too. All right, Shalise. Good to talk to you, gal. Was very glad to see you here. It was very good. Okay, good. Now I'm caught back up again. So anyway, Happy Hair gave me the 15-minute warning. What important things should we talk about before in the 15 minutes that we have left? I have this feeling things are going to get a lot uglier before they get a lot better. And that's why I put that poll up there. The poll was kind of just out of curiosity to see who had what everybody's weak spot was and kind of get an idea about that. And I thought maybe if I saw some of that, I might get an idea of what kind of videos to do to help everybody think about what to do to get ready or more ready, kind of fill in those holes. And, you know, like I mentioned earlier, my weakness right now, if everything hit the fan, if it got real bad, embarrassing as it is, my weakness is being able to run my refrigerator and freezer. That's my big goal. I don't have to have all the other electricity, but I really want to keep a freezer going or a couple of freezers going in a refrigerator. And it doesn't take a lot of electricity for that. You know, everybody says, oh, they use a lot of electricity, but they only use electricity for a little while. A freezer refrigerator only has to run 15 or 20 minutes every 3 or 4 hours, and it's going to stay in good shape. Even in hot weather, they don't have to run that much. And so it does not take a huge power requirement to keep them going and cycle through, you know, run one of them for a little while, then unplug that one, plug another one in, run that for a little while. What we are drinking, well, I will just show you what we're drinking tonight. My standard, pretty much go-to normal thing, Evan Williams, 1783 small batch. Pretty good stuff. Very affordable. You know, we've got some really good ones, but yeah, Chance, I think you're right. I think maybe sooner than in the next decade. You know, yeah, I should do it. Yeah, I'll give that poll 3 or 4 days to stay up and get, you know, however many votes it gets. You know, it's not my channel. It's not going to get a lot of votes because not a lot of people come to my channel normally. But my guess is probably right now, I think the power thing, the electricity thing is the leading contender for what people think their weakness is. And so, you know, we'll talk about that a little bit. There's several people that do some pretty good stuff on solar and that kind of thing. I've got a couple of solar panels. I've got, you know, a couple of deep cycle batteries sitting out in my shop that I keep charged up. And I've got an inverter that's big enough to run a freezer, maybe a couple at the same time. I don't remember, but we might talk about that. Now, see, Bent says water is his most difficult prep, and that surprises me. I think about him living where he does in California, and I think, you know, they should get plenty of rain and plenty of water, and there should be rivers and streams and stuff like that close. Maybe not. Maybe not. Water is one of our big things too, but I am sort of okay on water. I've got a couple of big storage tanks I set up that are fed by gutters. And so on those lately, those rare times when it actually rains, I can catch a whole bunch of water pretty quick. Water right now would probably be my number 2. Oh, drought. Yeah, sure. Hey, Finley. Good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Did we get any rain? We haven't got any rain lately. We got some, 2 weeks ago, hun? While we were in Ruidoso? About 2 weeks ago. We got a couple of inches, and it was nice. The farmers don't need a lot of rain right now because there's cotton getting ready to come out of the field. But you know, it's hard to be unhappy about a rain at any given time. But I've got, you know, for my rain catchment, I've got a 2,500 gallon tank right behind the house here that catches the good drinking water. And I've got a 3,000 gallon tank out behind my shop that catches water that I can use for, I could probably drink it, but it used to be a chemical storage tank, distribution tank for a farmer friend of mine. So there's no telling what was in it, but it's good enough for chickens and dogs and for watering plants and gardens and maybe occasionally flushing a toilet, something like that if we decide to do that. So, you know, that's going to help it too. I got a little bit of water catchment out in front of my house. I got a large water catchment area in front of my house, and that has the smallest amount of containment of anything. I've just got a couple or 3 30-gallon barrels out there. I can catch maybe 100 gallons of water out there. How sad is that? The biggest spot. If I get another tank, that's where it'll go. It would be great to put another 2,500 gallon tank right there. It'd fill it up in a short amount of time. As I about choke myself. throwing the glass up too fast. But yeah, water. We could probably get by on right now, but keeping the refrigerator running, freezer running, big deal. That's a big deal. That's a good way to keep food. Hurricane without for 6 weeks. Yeah, Ted, we have not been without power here for that long. Here at this house, a couple of days, I think, was the longest we went. Now, not far from us, they were out for 2 or 3, 4 weeks. You know, power lines got blown down. That's a big thing for us. The wind that comes through here sometimes, you know, I mentioned on Saturday, we had some 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And when those things hit, if they hit out of the right direction, they'll take miles of power lines down. They'll snap poles right off. So that's a real thing. When we lived in Colorado, we were without power for about a week one time, but we were okay, even though it was early part of winter. I think it was late October, which is pretty much borderline winter. My snow plowing contract started on November 1st up there, and even though we lost power for a week, we had a wood stove that we could keep the house warm with, and we had a propane tank and a propane cook stove that we could cook food on. And we didn't run out of water, and I'm trying to remember why. Maybe we melted snow. I don't know what we did, but I don't remember being without water. We were on city water out there, I guess. So I guess there was enough tanks that kept the water pressure good. So we didn't run out of water in that case. Now here at this house, we're on a well, and so you know the well quit. We lose electricity. We're going to be out of water pretty fast. We're going to be out of water pressure. Like I say, I've got plenty of water stored up that we can use. In fact, true story. Back a couple of years or so before the accident, still had all 3 girls. You know, they were big into Little House on the Prairie and that kind of stuff. You know, my girls were country girls. Our well pump went out. We had no well, and we were okay. We went for about yeah, I was going to say, but somewhere between a month and a half that we didn't have running water here. You know, we had drinking water that we could use. I mean, it's no big deal. I can go into town and fill up some. I've got a couple of. In fact, I just did a video on water. You're going to enjoy at least parts of that. But we've got a water dispenser over there that takes those 5-gallon water jugs that turn on top of it. Water cooler, if you want to call it that. And so we had drinking water there. We dipped water out back out of our tank out there, and we went without running water for about a month to a month and a half, and it was no big deal. We got an outhouse way back out in the back there that we could use, and so we used the outhouse, and we could use the toilet inside. You just, you know, pour a pitcher of water down it to flush it. You know, inconvenient, but no big deal. So, yeah, water's a big deal. Water's a big deal. And it gets you a water filter of some sort, hon. Yep. Evan Williams small batch is a secret. Yeah, it's a pretty good secret, isn't it? Let's see. Moving back up the chat to kind of catch up again. Good poll. Thank you, Chance. Yes. Drought river. I think that's cool. You've got a river back there, Anna. That's a cool thing. And you don't. In fact, the video I just did, I mentioned that a lot of the water that you catch, you know, everybody says that water's not been filtered or cleaned or boiled. Well, if you fall into a river, you go swimming, you go water skiing, you're going to drink some water out of that lake or river or wherever you are. And it ain't a whole lot cleaner than what you catch off the roof of your house. Days here in North Texas, west. Yep, pretty good bit west. I heard, Finley, y'all had been getting some rain out there. I didn't know how much or for real. I saw the radar. It looked like y'all had a pretty good system moving up right through the middle of Texas and up your way. Wayne, the tanks fill fast. Here's the math on rain. On flat surface, or I mean, yeah, any flat surface. It doesn't have to be level. It can be like that, a roof of your house. But for every square foot of surface, 1 inch of rain equals about a half a gallon of water. So 1 inch of rain on a square foot of surface is equal, I think it's like 6/10 of a gallon, so just over half a gallon. So depends on how much surface area you have. This 2,500 gallon tank we've got out back, we filled that thing nearly completely up in about 2 or 3 rainstorms. And it's only got, I don't remember how much it is, but basically I've got 2 pieces of gutter set up. So it's catching a 10-foot section, it's catching a 10-foot section of roof line straight up the edge of the roof in 2 different spots. And that's all we got off of that. And it filled it up pretty quick. It goes a lot quicker than you think it would. I started thinking about supper. I got the hiccups now. Solar for that. Yeah, Bent, something you can do. You don't have to get enough solar to run your whole house. All you got to do is have 3 or 4 of the solar panels, the good size ones, especially if you get the 200 and 300 watt panels. And that will keep a battery charged up enough to run a freezer or refrigerator if you've got about a 2,000 watt inverter to run it with. The math on a freezer, I think I figured my biggest freezer out there, it pulls, boy, I'm not going to get this right. It pulls 9 amps or 7 amps. We'll call it 9 amps because let's call it 10 amps. That'll be easy to do the math on. 10 amps is 1,200 watts. And so that's not that much. So, you get a 1,500 watt inverter or even better, a 2,000 watt inverter, because what happens is when something starts up like a compressor on a freezer or refrigerator, it's going to pull extra amperage. But if you get it past the startup, you can run that thing on not a whole lot. You can keep it going. Miami, some out for 8 months. Wow. 8 months. Oh my goodness. Christy's parents are set up. I remember one year they had 4 hurricanes go over the top of their house. They picked up some damage, but they made it through just fine. They're okay with it. Cooked steaks in our fireplace last winter and melted ice. Dang right, Finley. Dang right. I'm glad you had a fireplace. That's a big deal. A lot of people don't think a fireplace or a wood stove is really that big of a deal to have. A lot of people want a pellet stove. Pellet stoves are fun. Can't run them without electricity, though. That's a problem. Yeah, wood stove, fireplace, big deal. Big deal. Wayne says, we used to be out regularly during the winter with storms for 1 to 4 weeks at a time. I'm guessing that's when you were up in the PNW up there. Didn't have any for a long time. And then in the winter of 2018-19, we got hammered. I don't remember those videos, Wayne. Maybe, I don't remember. I remember some videos then, but I don't remember that. FRS radio to monitor weather reports. Yep, that is very handy. Yeah, get a filter and treat it. That's a good idea. Can one well pump from, can one run? Yes. Yes, Chance, you can. But to do that, you've got to have some kind of special, you got to have a special inverter and some things like that. A normal well pump, running that from solar and some solar panels is tricky to do. They make solar wells, they make solar wells, solar pumps for wells. And I was thinking about it would be good to get one and have one just to have one. And I got a friend that does that kind of, he's got a business where he does that kind of thing. And I asked him the other day, because I was thinking it was going to be like a, $500 or $600 thing to get one of those. Turns out it's like you can get ready to spend a couple of grand for one of those pumps. Now, I still may try to start saving money and do that at some point anyway, because what a handy thing that would be. Our wells here, Chance knows this, our wells here average around 200 feet deep. I think up further north where he was from, they may go a little deeper than that, maybe 250 to 300. I know out east of where he lives, I got a friend that had wells out there, and they average around 300 feet. Even on something that deep, you can pull it by hand. If you got a couple of guys, you can pull that thing out by hand, undo the pipe, keep it going, and you can pull your own well and then put it back in if you have to. So that's something we think about. Around here, there's lots of irrigation wells too, with the big 6 and 8 inch casing on them. And so you knock the top off of one of those, and if it's already had the well pulled out, you ain't pulling one of those by hand. Those things are pretty massive, but there's lots of them that have been taken out of commission, and they're just empty all the way down to the bottom. Those are big enough you can pull the top off of one of those, off the top of the casing that they have to keep stuff from going in, and you can lower a PVC bucket down there to get into the water. The trick to making one, but you can do that if you've got a 200 or 300 foot piece of rope or wire or something you can pull it back up with. That's a possibility too, but there's lots better ways to do it. Oh, Ben says Ben's right. I guess Ben wants me to shut the heck up and get off here. And he's probably right. I said 15 minutes and I would. So anyway, on that note, the whole idea of the poll that I put up was to figure out where some weaknesses were and maybe a couple of things we should do some videos about, and maybe help everybody kind of beef up their weak spots in their prepping and preparations and all that kind of stuff. I hope we don't ever have to use our preps. I hope we don't ever have to do the stuff that we prepare for. I kind of don't think we really will, but that may be facetious thinking on my part. Bad things happen sometimes, and the more ready you are, the better you can weather it. I've told the story before of where Wes and I were up in the Davis Mountains down there in way west Texas when the whole COVID thing broke out. In what seems longer than that. I guess it was 2020 though. We saw it happening. Up there, there's no cell service and there's no internet really, except there is a router there at the Boy Scout camp that privileged people can hook up to get some messages through. And we saw that the world was going crazy. Shortages in the stores, people making runs on grocery stores and stripping them clean. And I saw that and I thought that can't be right. And it turned out it was right. And I didn't laugh at the people, but I laughed at the whole situation, thinking, everybody's been telling everybody to get ready for something like this for a long time. Why aren't people ready? We came out of there, went down to Midland, Texas, which is a couple of hours south of me, met Happy Hair. She was doing one of her hair clip shows down there at a, what was that, Scottish Fest? Celtic Fair. Yeah, Celtic Fair. And we went to a Walmart while we were there and watched a lot of the stupidity happening, and we didn't care. I picked up a couple of 6-packs of beer and some chips and some snacky foods and little things like that. I helped a couple of ladies get some bleach. There wasn't but 3 or 4 bottles of bleach left, and they were all the way on the top shelf there. And they asked if I could help them. I said, sure. I didn't need it. So I climbed up there, got it down for them. It wasn't a big deal because we were ready. We were prepared. It wasn't the end of the world, but it sure made things easier for us because we didn't have to panic and get into that same mindset of all the people that hadn't thought about it. That's one of the things I like about this group, this community, is everybody here thinks about that and is at least a pretty good bit ready. And so we want to kind of help make that better. Anyway, Bent said to shut up and get off here. I'm paraphrasing. Actually, all he did was say my timer is up. So he signed off. He left so that I didn't have to. Wayne retracted one of his messages, probably just misspelled something. Yeah, Ted, hand pumps at 200 feet don't always work real well. They're harder to get them to work right at that depth. I know they can be done. I don't know much about it though, so that's something you can maybe share with us one of these days. Anna Lee, don't make a filter. You can get cheap. Anna, call me later. We'll talk about water filters. There's cheap ways to do it. You can get on eBay and get a water filter for not very much money. We will figure that out, darling. We'll get that all set up. Yeah, bleach is good. Iodine is okay. A lot of the bleach bottles, you buy a gallon of Clorox bleach, if you look, they used to, I don't know if they still do, had the numbers on there for how much bleach to add to how much water. If I recall, it was like 8 drops of bleach. In fact, some of the older bleach bottles even showed you how to put bleach in a spoon and turn it just enough so that it'll drip off, and you count 8 drops to a gallon of water, I think. Oh, you didn't frustrate me, Anna. 2 drops a quart. Yeah, so that's about right. Good. Thank you, Wayne. That's right. All right. This is the part where I zip it and shut up. I love doing this. I love talking about this kind of stuff. I love seeing the stuff in the chat and the comments. So I always hate to get off once we get it going and rolling good. But I said I would, so I'm going to. Thanks, everybody, for participating and being part of this. This was good, especially for something I didn't even plan to do. This was fun and very productive, too, I think. Very productive. We will continue this conversation later on. For me, it's always a matter of getting in late and doing that. But it turns out that, doing this one kind of late this evening, it worked out. Thanks to, good grief, a yawn. Where'd that come from? Thanks to everybody that showed up. This was fun. Chance, it's good to see you. Anna Lee, Wayne, Finley, Ted, Anonymous, all of that. Good. It's good to see all y'all. I appreciate all of you. I really do. A lot of y'all have been good friends, online friends, very supportive of me, and I've always appreciated that. So I thank you for that. We are going to sign off right now. I'm going to, I don't know how to do that. End the stream, leave the chat going. Maybe I'm smart enough to figure that out or not. We'll see. Anyway, that's all, folks. Good night, y'all. If I can remember how to do this. Yes, in broadcast. Good night. Oh, I got to click the button. It's just like when I go live. I always have to remember that. You click it and it says, "Are you sure you want to?" Yes, sure I want to end. So, good night.